ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It's Thursday, November 10th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We are here until 6 o'clock taking your phone calls and your text. The phone line is 877-420-TALK, 877-420-8255. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Coming up this hour, Billy Seals, head coach of the Huntington Highlanders. His team gets underway tomorrow night. We'll have that game against Beckley Woodrow Wilson. It's the first round of the WVSSAC playoffs. Huntington High, the number 2 seed. We'll talk to coach here in about 10 minutes. We'll also hear from Ryan Crisp. He's the Associate Athletic Director for Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. Usually every few weeks we check in with Marshall University Athletic Director Christian Spears. Well, we don't have an opportunity to check in with him directly tonight, but Ryan's going to fill that void and step in some pretty big shoes, so I hope Ryan's up to the task. We're going to talk to him at about 5:30. So plenty going on today. The rest of the weekend is almost here. It's going to be exciting. Marshall taking on App State. There's a lot of things that we're going to talk to Ryan about today, about what the game will look like as far as some of the events, some of the, I want to say they're tweaking the presentation a little bit. So that's a real big reason why Ryan's going to come on with us today and talk a little bit more about some of the things you can expect to see on Saturday. And of course, there are a lot of things going on tonight as well. We'll get into some of it. Tonight is volleyball. It's 80s night, taking on Arkansas State. I don't know exactly what past, present, and future senior night is going to look like tomorrow for volleyball. So I'm going to find out a little bit more about that. 80s night is sort of self-explanatory. Show up in your favorite 80s garb. I mean, do you have a favorite moment from the 80s? I mean, can you show up as Luke Skywalker with the 80s hair from 1983, Return of the Jedi? Can you do that? And can you show up as Marty McFly from the Back to the Future series, 80s night? Can you show up as Devo? Can you show up as Madonna? I mean, what's your choice? How do you show up at 80s night? What do you go to? And I'm hoping there better be some 80s jams all night long going on at volleyball. So we'll hear more about that event. Football, of course, this weekend as well. Basketball in action, taking on Purdue. And that is coming up tonight. Also, a couple of signees today for women's basketball. Riley Sagester. She is a 5'7" guard from West Alexandria, Ohio. She, in her junior season, averaged 17.2 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 3.8 assists per game for Tri-Village High School. So she is pretty good. Alanya Walden, the other signee, a 5'6" point guard from Melbourne, Florida. She is a 4-time district and regional champion and a 2-time 4A state champion with Palm Bay High School. She averaged 9 points per game her junior season and has scored 823 points from the point guard position, averaged 4.0 assists per game, 4 steals per game, and 2 rebounds per game in 21-22. So there are some new names to keep an eye on if you're a fan of women's volleyball, basketball, and a lot of other sports. The social media accounts are tweeting out a lot of signees, so there's some new names for you to keep an eye on. So what else we got going on today? Well, I think, first of all, we need to talk about what came out yesterday, and we got the details today from Conference USA. And just I want to illustrate a point here, why it was a good thing that Marshall got out of Conference USA. Not only, I think, as Conference USA pivoted towards a direction that I don't want to see Marshall be in. The geography, for one. I like the matchups better in the Sun Belt. I like the close-knit group of schools, both on the east side and west side. But Conference USA announcing a new multimedia rights deal, which the release says emphasizes accessibility, opportune scheduling models, national linear and digital exposure, and increase revenue. So this is going to be between CBS Sports, Conference USA, and ESPN. It'll start in the 23-24 season. CBS Sports Network is going to be Tier 1 for Conference USA football. 18 games annually, and 18 games not only for football, but basketball, men's basketball and football, both 18 games annually. Going to televise the football championship, men's basketball semifinal and championship games, the women's basketball championship game, and baseball and softball championship game. So CBS Sports Network going to be your longtime home of Conference USA. So now the membership approved this. It's a linear television-friendly scheduling format, according to the release, for football that sees all October league matchups played on midweek evenings. You heard that right. All October league matchups played on midweek evenings. The broadcast partners will share CUSA's October weeknight football games on linear television across CBS Sports Network, ESPN, ESPN2, or ESPNU. So the linear networks, ESPN, will carry 8 midweek football games per season. This is going to be through the October midweek scheduling. In addition, ESPN Plus or ESPN3 will carry all additional regular season football games while also serving as the exclusive digital home for all of CUSA's Olympic sports. So that's everything. You know, that's pretty standard these days. I like ESPN Plus as a platform. It's a great place to go. You want to catch the game. It's not on linear. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. Now, I don't know how you feel about midweek games. Of course, if you're a Marshall fan, this is okay because guess what? You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about this because the price is going to go up for what it costs to have the privilege of being able to carry these games. So yeah, there'll be more money, and that's good for Conference USA. That's good. I don't like – now, I say this after praising Maction. I like Maction. November, Maction, I like it. But I don't know if I like it for Conference USA. Just standing back for a second. If I was Marshall in this league, I would definitely not like this. And that's part of the reason why Marshall's out of this league now. So midweek action in October, not where I would want to be. Hey, let's go watch the Herd play on consecutive Wednesday nights. The fan base grumbles now about time of game. It should be a night game. Should it be a daytime? Homecoming should be in day. Marshall fans like playing at night. Homecoming shouldn't be at night. Don't like midweek games. Yeah, all that's difficult enough to navigate. Now throw in if you were in Conference USA. And, oh, by the way, we're going to have midweek games in October. Enjoy. Conference USA is trying, and I get it. Maybe this jumpstarts Conference USA. I'm willing to watch and see. But as far as I'm concerned, I think Marshall's in the better situation right now with the Sun Belt. Definitely got the better television deal. And obviously, you play one midweek game now and then. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But, all your October games being played midweek, that's not fun. I don't know how the fan base is going to react to going to these games, and not that fan attendance is really an issue in Conference USA to begin with as far as they're not showing up. How's that going to play for those that do show up? We will, of course, follow this as the story continues, and we'll see what it looks like in action with the 23-24 season. When we continue, we're going to talk high school football. We've got the head coach of the Huntington Highlanders, Billy Seals. He's coming up. He's my next guest on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Coming up tomorrow, it's going to be Huntington in the first round of the WVSSC playoffs, taking on Beckley Woodrow Wilson. We'll have the game for you. 7:30 is going to be kick here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And I want to welcome to the program now the head coach of the Huntington Highlanders, Billy Seals, who, once again, your team is in the playoffs, continuing to do what you do best, and that's you always give the Huntington Highlanders a chance. And this year you're the 2 seed, and you're taking on a team you've already seen once before. So, first of all, congratulations. I mean, when you came here, this was unimaginable, and now look at the place.
Well, you got to give credit to our players, number one. They do an excellent job of locking in every week and, being coachable, and we got great young men in our program. And so the credit goes to them and the culture that's been built in our program and the culture that's been built inside of Huntington High School. We have no choice but to be successful. So, I give them all the credit for the success we've had over the last 14 years.
You're back at it against Beckley Woodrow Wilson. You've seen them before. What's changed about them that makes them a little bit more challenging?
Well, they get a few more different, few different sets from what they did earlier in the year. And, they'll jump in some Maryland Eye, but it's still all about power football. They want to, win the time of possession. They want to limit your snaps on offense. And so we've got to do a tremendous job on defense of winning third down, getting off the field on third down, and giving our offense an opportunity to put points on the board. So obviously playing great defense is going to be at a premium, and special teams are going to be big as far as giving field position and things like that.
Billy Seals is with me, the head coach of the Huntington Highlanders. Now, we're playing on Friday. I know a few schools have had to change games to tonight just for weather. Thankfully, you're not going to have to make that adjustment. Are you hoping to try to stay on Friday nights? I know you really don't get too much of a say in that since you're going to host throughout the playoffs until the championship game. But do you like Friday nights? You don't like Saturdays, do you?
Well, to me, it don't matter, to be honest with you. I will tell you, in the years previously when, we've had an opportunity to play on a semifinals, I traditionally like to play that one on Saturday, just for the simple fact is the championship game is on Saturday. So, we got to play whenever the team who's the lower seed, whatever they pick. So we just got to run with it. And, fortunately this week, we feel like the Friday night's a good time. And, we're excited about an opportunity to go 1-0 this week.
Billy Seals, my guest, head coach of the Huntington Highlanders. So looking at your team after losing a game that anyone could have won in week one, you've been undefeated since. How far has your team grown, you think, from week one to now?
Well, I think we're a much better football team. I mean, week one there were a lot of new pieces to the puzzle, especially defensively. We had a lot of guys graduate, especially at the linebacker position, and we had some growing pains there a little bit early. But hats off to Spring Valley. They played a heck of a game, got a win there week one. But the thing I love about our guys, they came back in on Monday and went back to work. And we've been fortunate enough to run off 9 straight, win the MSAC for the 4th time since 2013. And, really proud of our football team. And I told them Friday night, I'm excited and proud of them for winning the MSAC championship, but we're searching for a bigger championship.
Who stood out to you the most in these weeks running up? You've got some new pieces on defense. You've got some younger faces that are really standing out. You've got some veterans out there. Who's standing out the most to you?
Well, I think, as a collective effort, I think we're continuing to get better. And, I think our offensive line has improved. We've been able to shuffle some guys around. So we've been able to build some depth there on the offensive line. I feel like our linebackers are much improved. Jordan Price has played lights out this year. And, I think our secondary has been solid all year long. And so I just think we continue to improve, and I think that's a sign of a good football team. You improve each and every week, and you love being out here. We've had great energy this week at practice, and just finishing up right now, on a Thursday, and had a good practice today, and guys are locked in, ready to go.
Does it help that you've been to the championship game last season, fell short, and now you have the opportunity once again? These kids who remain, does it help to have that experience to maybe push you a little bit further this time around?
Well, absolutely. I think, the greatest teacher is experience. And so for us and our program, the opportunity to make it there last year, I think our guys, understand what it takes to get there. They understand it's week by week. Our main concern right now is how we play tomorrow night against Woodrow, survive and advance at this point. So, but I definitely think it doesn't hurt us with the experience that we had last year.
And it also gives you something you can point to, because you get into the playoffs and everybody wants to win the state championship. But as you just mentioned, it's 1 week at a time. And now knowing that works, these kids understand, okay, it is 1 week at a time. And getting to the state championship probably is, hey, you want to get there again? Well, we got to do the same things.
Yeah, we do. And, last year we had a veteran group, especially defensively. You look at our linebacking core of Noah Wanick and Tyree Smith and Dave Bradshaw. And then you can throw in, James Scott, Brody Sipple up front on the D-line. We had a lot of experience there. Guys that, when they were juniors, we went 3-6 during the COVID year, which COVID year didn't mean anything to anybody. I mean, there are a lot bigger fish to fry than winning football games during COVID. So, and those guys persevered through that tough season. And, they're the group that kind of set the tone in the off season. And that year and even last year, we had guys coming in at 6 a.m. in the morning and getting their lift in because they were playing basketball or running track or, wrestling. They would come in at 6 o'clock in the morning to get their workout in. And I think that culture, is infectious. And I think our guys kind of build into that. And I think it's helped us kind of get where we're at this point.
Billy Seals, head coach of the Huntington Highlanders, is with me. Okay, the game's tomorrow night. We're going to have it on radio and video streaming for those that can't get up there. Maybe parents that are, want to make sure that the grandparents can see the kids, all that good stuff. But for those who can come, anything different as far as getting tickets since it is a playoff game?
Well, and this is not a Cabell County policy. It's the WVSSAC. All tickets are digital. They can go to gofan.com to get tickets to the game. And we would love to have a huge crowd here. Our young men have made the city of Huntington proud. I think they've represented the city well over the last 14 years. And, our guys deserve to have a big crowd. And, one of the main reasons about being at home is having an advantage environment-wise. So we hope that our community and our student body brings it tomorrow night and, enjoys the game.
You're not doing any more of those getting up at 4 or 5 a.m. pep rallies, are you?
If I have anything to do with it, no.
You were there. You were there bright and early for that.
Man, that was an absolutely long day for me, and all of it, to be honest with you. After we finished our games, a lot of times we'll have staff meetings for a little bit. So, that was rise and shine at 4 a.m. that morning and getting home at 2 a.m.
Billy Seals, my guest. Well, I hope that you have an early Sunday morning once again. Yeah, I hope you have to make that drive Sunday morning for your next round time and everything. So, no off weeks for you here for a few weeks.
No, we hope not. It's the part of the season you work so hard for to get into the playoffs and get an opportunity to represent Huntington High School in the playoffs. And, we're excited about an opportunity to continue to get to play. And I told our seniors, just today, you're guaranteed Friday night. And so we got 9 guys on our team that, Friday night is we don't play well, we don't get a win. It's our last high school football game. So we got to take advantage of every opportunity we get.
Billy Seals, my guest, head coach of the Huntington Highlanders. Don't forget, it's 7:30 tomorrow night. If you can't attend, we've got it for you here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 video streaming as well. But, I'll tell you what, we would hope that everyone can show up at the game. They can take their radios with them. Let's hope you get a big crowd tomorrow, and we'll get you back here next week. Let's just go ahead and plan it right now. Next week, we'll talk about the next round. I know you can't look ahead. I can.
Well, that's the great thing about being a fan and on the outside. So you guys can look ahead. We're definitely locked in for tomorrow night. Excited for our young men to get an opportunity to continue to play and hopefully be 1-0 at the end of the week.
Coach, good luck. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you.
That's Billy Seals, head coach of the Huntington Highlanders. Beckley Woodrow Wilson, the opponent, coming up tomorrow. 7:30 is going to be kick. We got it for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. When we continue, I'm going to be speaking with Ryan Crisp. He's the Associate Athletics Director for Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. My first question to him is going to be, can we change that title to something shorter for me to pronounce on the radio? We'll do that when we continue with this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Do you like the show and you want to make your own? Well, let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless for what you can create. Now, Anchor is going to distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast. No minimum listenership needed. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Thursday, November 10th edition. The Drive continues on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. You know, every few weeks we get a chance to sit down with the athletic director of Marshall University, Christian Spears. He's a big fan of the show. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here with us, but I think we've got a suitable replacement. No pressure, but Ryan Crisp is with us. He's the Associate Athletics Director for Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, Fan Engagement. And Ryan, first thing, I've got to talk to Christian. We got to change this title up so I can say it easier on the radio next time.
You know, yeah, first off, Paul, thanks for allowing me to be on the show and taking the time to help support Marshall Athletics. And when it comes from the title, that's definitely a Christian Spears. If you take a look around the athletic department, he loves long titles, and he loves putting responsibility on people. So take that up with Christian next time he's on the show, please.
Okay, I shall. Every time I give him a suggestion or two, he tells me to stay in my lane. I tried to push the Herd energy drink a few weeks ago. He wasn't having that. So good luck for both of us.
That's right, and I'm all in on the Herd energy drink, by the way. If we can find the right provider for that, integrate our student body into that idea, that's something that's crossed my mind a few times, and I'm all in on that. So we got to make that work, Paul. That's a me and you project there.
Okay, I'm down with that. I was coming up with some names. He told me to let his people take care of that. So energy drink. You guys name it, I'll drink it, and we'll go from there. Ryan's going to keep us updated on everything that's happening for this weekend. We got a busy weekend. We start with volleyball, of course, tonight because that's coming up here at 6 o'clock. It's versus Arkansas State. It's 80s night, so I know Christian is going to try to get there and dress up as his favorite 80s character. Ryan, what's your favorite 80s persona or character that you're going to be dressing up for tonight?
You know, the idea behind the 80s night came from just Thunderstruck, as you know, with our being our theme song. And so that's where it came from. And so if I had a good singing voice, I would love to stand out there and sing some Thunderstruck. But unfortunately, I did not get blessed with a good singing voice. So I will not be participating in the way I would love to for 80s night. But should be a really good night for the volleyball team. Last home weekend this year for them. So tonight, the 80s night, tomorrow, 6 o'clock as well, Friday night against Arkansas State as well, and it's going to be senior night. So 4 seniors that have done a lot for the program over the last couple of years, and we're excited about the volleyball program and its future. I know Christian has talked about their TerraFlex court they're getting, and so, you know, we really think we have a chance to win with our volleyball program, and our coaching staff is top-notch, and we have some great student athletes that are on that team, and so we're very excited about the future of the volleyball program.
So explain to me past, present, future senior night. What does that look like? I know what 80s night looks like. It's all 80s, but what does past, present, future senior night look like?
So they have some alumni coming back into town. It's their alumni weekend that they paired with senior night, and also some of their student athletes, future student athletes that they have just signed, with signing day being this past Wednesday, are coming into town. So they have over 100 guests coming into town this weekend, whether that is former players, you know, the current players that are here, and as well as future members of the Herd that they just signed this past week. to be a part of the volleyball program for the future. So a cool deal that the coaching staff came up with in terms of bringing everyone together. So, they're super excited for this weekend and have a lot of guests in town to take it all in.
Ryan Crisp is with us, the Associate Athletics Director, Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, Fan Engagement, and any other title that Christian Spears, the Athletic Director, will tack on there. He's joining us to get us caught up on some of the events and happenings at Marshall. We got to talk football because App State 3:30 is when it's going to happen on Saturday. It's the tribute game. Now, this has been known in the past as the 75 game, and I understand hearing Coach talk the other day and talking to some of you at Marshall that there's going to be a tweak or a readjustment of the branding of how this is going to be presented. So start with the tribute game. 3:15, you want everybody in their seats. What's the special event?
Yeah, so we just want to make sure that we are honoring the 70 team and the 75 souls that were lost in the tragedy, as well as the 71 team and the resilience that they showed through the Young Thundering Herd. Getting past the 50-year anniversary for both of those, we felt it was an appropriate time to bring it all together and make sure we're honoring both teams in the same light. And so, we've shifted a lot of the things pregame to honor that team, those teams. And so, just be in your seats by 3:15, get in there early. In the past, the players have locked arms and walked onto the field to a special video. And this year, we're going to incorporate everyone. So we would ask that all fans lock arms in the whole stadium and join together and watch a new video that we have made for this year. And it's going to be a really touching moment. And after the video plays, we have a couple of special guests that are going to come on the field, and they're going to lead the crowd in "We Are Marshall" chant. That'll kind of tie it all together. And then once that happens, we're gonna play the siren, and then we're going to go through the normal intro video, and our guys are going to play ball, and they're going to win a game. And so, it's just about bringing it all together. I'm sure everyone, if you haven't, you got to check out the helmets that we are going to wear for Saturday's game. Our equipment staff absolutely killed it this year. With the design of the helmet. Obviously, the black helmet's a new addition, but some of the details that are on that helmet are absolutely just perfect, and they killed it. So we're super excited for that in order to honor those teams. And, Friday night, tomorrow night, when the guys leave the stadium, there is, the 75 logo is on our football field now, and that was decided by our fans. It wasn't on the original field. Christian put out the fan vote for fans to give feedback, to give input on what should be on the football field. And that's something that fans wanted. And so he incorporated that into the field design. And so as our players leave on Friday night, before they go to the hotel, they're going to go over to the 75 and have a moment for themselves to reflect however they would like to. Then they're going to hop on the bus. They're going to go up to the cemetery. They're going to spend a few minutes at the cemetery. They're going to hop on the bus then and go to the hotel and then come in Saturday and ready to play. So we're just excited for the whole weekend. Nothing but great feedback on honoring both teams and changing up the pregame a little bit and incorporating our entire fan base. One thing you probably notice a lot is we use the hashtag Herd Family a lot, and so we just felt it was appropriate to incorporate that and make sure that we're all in this together. It took a lot of people to bring the program back, and from the ashes we rose. And you go through the 90s and the history there, and to current day, it's just a remarkable story, and we want to make sure that everyone knows that they're a part of that, and everyone plays a role in the Herd being on the field every day.
Ryan Crisp is with us. He's the Associate Athletics Director, Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. And one item that we should point out is that there's a ticket discount for veterans through the ticket office.
There is, yeah. The veterans can definitely call in the ticket office, 800 the Herd. Or show up at the ticket booth on game day, and we do have a ticket discount for them, $15 tickets for them, so $10 off in the end zone sideline sections, and it's a great discount for them. We're very thankful for their service for this country and what they've done and sacrificed for us, and we didn't want to overshadow the 75 by any means, but definitely thankful for the veterans. With Veterans Day tomorrow, it just made sense to have that there, so we're welcoming the veterans back.
Ryan Crisp is with us, Associate Athletics Director, Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. Now, the ceremony is Monday, fountain ceremony. That's going to be at noon. Has anything changed with the ceremony, the way it's being presented, or that's still to say pretty much the same?
Yep, no, that will stay the same. Vince Corelli is coming in to speak at the fountain ceremony. He will also be here on Saturday with us. His father passed away in the plane crash, and then he actually played at a rival school after that and played against Marshall. He did beat us, but he is coming back to speak at the fountain ceremony. So that will be, what you're accustomed to. Christian will be there. He will have some words to say. Charles Huff will be there. He'll have some words to say, as well as the leadership group with the football team will be there as well to help honor the 75.
And at the same time, at noon, the men's soccer selection show is going to be happening. So, how are you going to handle both events? Because I'm sure a lot of Herd fans will want to attend both, or at least be a part of both of those. So, is the soccer selection show going to be at the Student Center? Where's that going to be held this year?
It is going to be a private event for the team and coaches only. We talked to Coach Grassi, and he felt like that was the best thing we could do, just given the timing of everything. And so it is going to be a private event where the guys will get together. We will have a camera set up to capture some audio and video for when those guys get selected and find out where their selection is. So we're excited for them. We're hoping we get to host a couple rounds here in Huntington and host some fans back in the vet for a couple more times this year.
Ryan Crisp is my guest. He is the Associate Athletic Director. It's annual giving, ticket sales, and fan engagement. And right now he is also subbing for Christian Spears. Let's talk basketball, because that's going to be a big topic for a long time until that court is installed. So I'm sure you get that as well as I do. When's the court going to be installed? So do you have any updates on when we're going to see the new court?
We are looking at middle of December for the install. Court is coming here pretty soon. The biggest thing now we got to deal with is finding, enough days off where teams aren't in there, where we're able to get in and actually take up the new court and then put down the new court and cut the holes for the volleyball poles and for all the cabling that goes underneath of that court to make our TV happen. And so middle of December is what we're looking at. We're really excited for the new court. It's super, super sharp. And so once it goes down and once it's in there, we will definitely let our fan base know, and may even tie a couple of fun promotions in with the new court as we unveil it over the later part of December there.
Well, the home opener is against Tennessee Tech at 7 o'clock. You've got a couple of events going on. Staff faculty appreciation game, that's key. If I'm a member of the staff or I'm a member of the faculty, what do I get for coming to that game, or what are you doing for me if I'm one of those two?
Yeah, we obviously want to grow our relationship with the university. We have done this for football for a while. We did it for the Norfolk State game. And any staff faculty member through Marshall University, through Marshall Health, is able to receive 2 free tickets to the game. So it's just a great way to thank them for all they do on their side. Obviously, everyone plays a role in athletics in terms of admissions and bursar's office, and obviously the professors teaching our student athletes every day. It's important to thank them. Hopefully they come and hopefully they have a great experience and then, want to come back to future games. So we're excited to invite them into our facility, as well as honor a few of them pregame that do a lot for athletics. And we have a little presentation pregame with a few select faculty members and staff members. So we're excited to invite them into our venue and let them get a little taste of Thunderbird basketball.
For the fans that maybe haven't been able to keep up, there's going to be some changes this year with the way presentation is handled at Marshall for men's basketball. What are some of the things that fans can expect? What's going to be different for them, and maybe something that they're going to like when they come into the Henderson Center?
Yeah, I think we will adapt and we will change as we move throughout the season, and we're going to make it the best fan experience we possibly can for everyone. One immediate change that is going to go into effect come Monday night, as well as Tuesday night for the women's games, is we have a partnership with a new company called Q, C-U-E. It's an audio light show company. And so, you got to download the Herd Zone app, which is super critical because that's where it's ran through. When you download the Herd Zone app, there is a little section called Herd Light, and we will have a light show that is timed with the music of the intro video as well as the introduction of our players. That is all automatic through your phone. And so, we kind of looked at the glow stick was super cool and super big there for a few years, but it required a lot of money for us to supply glow sticks for games or for people to bring their glow sticks to the games. And so this is something that everyone can participate with, whether you have a glow stick or not. It's all right in your phone, which is where, a lot of especially our student body, we did a lot of evaluating last year. And, we're looking around the arena, and even maybe during gameplay and especially during timeout, a lot of fans, a lot of students are just looking at their phone. And so we realized that we need to incorporate the phone into our game day experience. And so there's a lot of capabilities with this app, and we will add more throughout the year as we go. But the light show is going to be active for game one. We tested it out with the athletic staff on Wednesday morning, and it was super cool. It's going to be a really nice feature that we're added, and it's going to improve our game day experience immediate from the start, and our fans are really going to enjoy it.
Anything else happening that's maybe less technical? I don't need to bring my phone. Yeah, anything else that's happening that maybe fans can take advantage of?
Yeah, I think we're always looking just to improve the facility as a whole, and so like I said, it's going to be a process, especially Christian coming in and taking in his first couple basketball games. We want to improve the entire experience from when you park to when you walk into our arena to the concession stands, and then once you get into the gameplay, to what are we doing during the timeout? What type of music are we playing here? All that stuff is going to be evaluated. We're changing a few things here and there just to make sure that our fans stay in the game, going more to a dynamic script where maybe, if we're on a big run, we're not going to go to a scheduled PA read for a sponsor. Those do pay the bills, but if we're on a big run, let's go to some type of hype music or something that will keep the crowd involved and then pencil that PA read in for later in the game at a different point. So we're going to work on it. Obviously, I'm about 3 weeks into my new role here, and so I'm excited for the opportunity to improve our in-game experience. And like I said, just from the whole experience. And so new signage is going to go up over the next couple of weeks in and around the arena. We're hoping to improve the lighting outside the arena, give fans a lighted path to walk into the game. So, if you're just driving by, you're going to know it's a game day. From a student and campus standpoint, we're putting yard signs out all over campus for game days to notify them, to get them to come to the games. We've started a texting service with our students to notify them of games. And then overall, just the app, which I know is a tech-based thing, but we're really going to invest a lot in our app, and we're going to make it super interactive for our fans to not only during our games, but outside of our games, interact with our student athletes.
My guest is Ryan Crisp. He's the Associate Athletics Director, Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, Fan Engagement. He's getting us updated on some of the things that will be happening around Marshall Athletics. Exciting things for men's basketball. The PA guy, have you worked with him? I think that needs a lot of improvement. The PA guy.
I don't know much about the PA guy, Mike, but I hear he likes to hire great people to do his radio shows. So I guess we got to keep him around for a little bit longer. But that's an evaluation that definitely needs to happen, and Christian needs to be aware of that.
I agree that. He's got an eye for talent, but as far as his actual performance on the mic, we need to evaluate that.
Once again, next time Christian's on the show, you bring that up.
Most definitely. Honestly, I'm just worried about the music selection if Mike's in charge. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
That's right. It will definitely be 97.9 The River. We'll hear it. That's for sure.
Fair enough. Coming up on Tuesday, before we let you go, it's Holiday Hoops for Heroes. Also, the home opener, West Virginia Wesleyan, 6 p.m. for Marshall women. Let's hope that they get the big win over Purdue tonight. But this is something, again, that I talked to Coach Kemper a few days ago. Free admission for vets, military personnel, ROTC. They're collecting items for local military, veterans communities. Some simple things, and it's free admission for anyone who brings an item like a deck of cards, game books, holiday gift bags, toiletries. Those are important things, and you hope that this is going to be an annual event that grows and grows. Yeah,
our women's basketball program has really taken this by charge, and they're kind of spearheading this. And Kennedy, who actually played here last year on the team, is now on staff with Tony there, and she's done a great job of implementing this and planning it. They have been at, Kroger a couple times. They've been at Walmart a couple times collecting items. And so it's going to be a really good event for community outreach. not only from our women's basketball team, but a few days ago we posted that currently for this academic year, we are number one in the Sun Belt for community service when it comes to our student athletes getting involved with the community. We are number one in the Sun Belt for community service hours. And so we're super proud of that, of our student athletes really taking that by charge and getting out in the community, being involved and volunteering their time. And so we couldn't be more proud of all our student athletes, and our women's basketball program is incorporating it into their game day. And so please come out 6 o'clock Tuesday night. A new team this year. Tony's got a lot of new players on the team. Super exciting. I went into a couple of their practices, and they're gonna turn some heads this year. They're gonna be really solid team, and bring something that you think would help a veteran, help a local military. Toiletries and deck of cards were kind of the two big things that they're preaching, and so please make a donation and come into the game for free and enjoy the women's basketball team, and hopefully they can pull out the W tonight and get another one on Tuesday.
Ryan Crisp is with us from Marshall Athletics. Good talking to you, Ryan. Let's do this again soon, and we'll hopefully be talking about some victories here next time, because a busy weekend starts with volleyball tonight at 6 o'clock, so have fun at 80s night.
All right, Paul, I appreciate the time, and I appreciate all of Herd Nation's support. And go Herd.
That's Ryan Crisp, Associate Athletics Director, Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. Our final segment coming up, it's The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're just about out of time, but we're in time for you to help us wrap it up here on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We'll be back tomorrow at a regular time, 5 to 6. Our final look at Marshall and Appalachian State before our game day. We'll be out on Thunder Street Saturday, 12:30. I'll be there. Woody Woodrum will be there. Bill Cornwell will be there. Hopefully you're going to be there as well as we get set for 1, the tribute game, 2, beating App State, and 3, going home happy after the game. So, and don't forget, I'll be right here with you after the game on our post-game show, Michelob Ultra College Football Wrap-Up. We'll take a look at all the action from the Sun Belt, update you on the top 25, get coaches' reaction to hopefully the victory. We'll hear from players, and we'll hear from you as well. That's on Michelob Ultra College Football Wrap-Up. We do that every game, home or away, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, and on 93.7 The Dog. So I'm looking forward to talking to you. If it's a victory, we'll have a good time. If it's a victory, we'll all go home happy. We'll have a great time after the game. It's a 3:30 kick, so I'll be the one kicking off your evening of fun. After the game, I'm sort of like the pregame for your fun evening. We'll say that. I think that's a good way to describe it. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I appreciate it. Everyone who was part of the show. I want to thank Billy Seals, the head coach of the Huntington Highlanders, for joining me. Tomorrow night, it's Beckley Woodrow Wilson at Huntington. We've got the game for you. Kickoff is right about 7:30. And then I want to thank Ryan Crisp for joining us, the Associate Athletics Director for Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. I got to talk to A.D. Spears. We got to come up with better titles that are shorter, easier for me to say on a consistent basis on the air. We'll see. We'll see how he handles that request. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. Back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.